Monday morning, October 7th, 2024, the last season of Rogers Hornsby's career, 1937. I'm going to cover the season in this video, and it will be the last in a series of videos on Rogers Hornsby from 1915 to 1937, 23-year career. After this video, I'm going to do a recap. So we'll analyze his whole career in detail. 1937, he's still managing, player manager. He plays 20 games. Big deal. 56 at bats, 7 runs scored. He gets 18 hits in 20 games, 3 doubles, gets 1 homer. Let's see, it's a home run. He ended up with, how many home runs did he end up with? I'll do that in the recap. I believe it was 301 career home runs. 11 RBIs, 7 walks, bats 321. Because if you go 18 for 56, that's 321. 397 on base, 429 slugging, 24 total bases. He had a hitting streak of 3 games, 5 multi-hit games, 3 2-hit games, 2 3-hit games. He had 1 2-runs scored in a game, and then he had 1 game with 2 RBIs. So 1937, not much to speak of. You know, it was interesting. I was looking at the box score for the 1937 season. I looked at the 20 games. His first game of the season, he goes 3 for 5, hits a homer and 2 singles. So there's hope. I'm saying, hey, maybe he'll play the full season. Get this right now. Entering the season, he had 2,912 hits. He needs 82 hits. Is that right? No, 88 hits for 3,000. For Roger Hornsby, that should be a piece of cake, right? 88 hits. All you got to do is play about 100 games, 120 games. He'll get his 88 hits, and he'll get to 3,000 hits. So he starts off 3 for 5. Next game, he goes 1 for 3. Next game, 1 for 2. So he's playing in April. And then in May, in April, he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in April that year, 1937. Player manager puts himself in a lineup, saying, hey, I'm going to start playing. Gets 5 at-bats, 3 at-bats, 4 at-bats. In May, he plays 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He plays 11 games in the month of May. He's getting his 3, 4 at-bats. Then in June, he plays a doubleheader on June 4th. He goes 3 for 5, and then he has 1 pinch hit in the second game. But then he only plays 1 more game in June that year, 1937. And then in July, he plays only 2 games. So a total of 20 games. Does not play August and September. Big mistake. He said, I've had it. His managing career is not that great. 1937, he's managing 25 wins, 52 losses, and I believe he's let go by management, fired, or his contract's up. He had a 2-year contract, $18,000 a year. So 1936, he managed the whole season with 57 and 95 losses. 1937, 25 wins, 52 losses. He's let go. And his career is over. His final at bat, he pinch hit. I don't know if it was a fly ball or ground ball. His last hit was on July 5th, 1937. He had a single, and he had an RBI. Pinch hitting, had a base hit July 5th. And then about 2 weeks later, he has his final at bat. I don't know if it was a ground ball or a fly ball, it doesn't say. And his career is over. 18 hits in the year 1937, ends up with 2,930 hits, and his career batting average is 358. He's done. Rogers Hornsby at age 41 is done playing baseball. But what a career. And what I'm going to do in the next episode is recap Roger Hornsby's career and see if you agree with me that he was the second greatest hitter of all time. Not the second greatest baseball player of all time. Difference between greatest ball player and greatest hitter, just pure hitting. We're going to analyze that in the next video. And I'm going to break it down, okay? Look at his career, see what he accomplished. Interesting character. I don't have him in my top 5 greatest baseball players of all time. I've got, in fact, in the top 10, I don't know where I'm going to rank him. Maybe he's in the top 10 on my list. Maybe he's outside of it. Maybe number 11, 12. Right now, I can think of 5 players who were greater than Roger Hornsby as far as all-around baseball player. But as far as listing the greatest pure hitters of all time, see, the difference for me between greatest baseball player and greatest hitter is this. When you're the greatest ball player of all time, it's all around. What did you do all around? What do I mean by that? I mean, what did you do in your accomplishments in all the categories of offensive? And, of course, you got to add the defensive in there too, right? And how many World Series titles, playoff games, how did you perform? That's what I mean by greatest all-around baseball player. Look at all the categories. See how you performed. I don't have Roger Hornsby in that top 5. I've got 5 other guys. I could just name them all real quick. I'd put Babe Ruth, greatest baseball player of all time, number 1. No, hands down. No debate. You got to look at it. Look at his career. And I'll put Ty Cobb, number 2. Close. I'll put Lou Gehrig, number 3. 4, you got to look at Ted Williams. 5, you can look at either Willie Mays or Henry Aaron right in there. 6, you got to look at Stan Musial. 7, you got to look at Tris Speaker, maybe Honus Wagner, as far as being the greatest of all time. Jimmy Fox you can put in there. Hope I'm not missing anybody. Joe DiMaggio, you got to look at him. Even though he didn't play as long as the other guys. That's the greatest category. But as far as hitting, and I'm going to argue this, and you have to look at it closely. You have to look at the box scores. You have to look at the pure hitting. I got Cobb, number 1, 366 career average. No dispute there. And the 4,189 career hits. Number 2, you got to look at Hornsby as far as greatest hitting. Him and Tris Speaker. Speaker is up there too. And Stan Musial is up there too. Hitting. And you know who else is up there? Tony Gwynn. You got to look at him. And Joe Jackson. You got to look at him. As far as hitting, pure hitting, what did they accomplish? Another guy is Ed Delante. I know he was old school, 1890s, 1900. But what he accomplished. In fact, I'll do a video, the top 10 greatest hitting category. And then I'll do a video, the top 10 greatest baseball player category. How about that? We're done with Hornsby. Next video, his recap. Then I got a surprise for everybody. Who am I going to do after I'm done with Roger Hornsby? Whose career will I look at? We'll reveal it in the next episode. Talk to you later. I am out.